Alright, chat, so we're hanging around here with Amalgamyte. Unfortunately, there's been an update on the VTuber program we're using, so we didn't manage to get it downloaded in time, so you're not going to see her avatar, chat. It's just not going to happen.
I'm here in spirit. Imagine me as the ladybug in the background.
I'm ashamed of her. I'm hiding her from you. You don't get to see her.
Understandable. You should always be ashamed of women.
I was actually wondering, like, are we going to get M2 today? I'm actually concerned. And I was thinking, it's like, why does Amalgamyte have only one schizo? Like, why can't you have multiple?
I don't know. I guess I just need to collect more as time goes on.
Yeah, you need to collect them like Pokemon cards. You know, like, you need to also make friends with other VTubers and then, like, trade schizos. Like, hey, I got this schizo, do you have the other? And just, like, swap them.
Maybe. Oh no! Speaking of the devil. Speaking of the devil.
Oh my god! Amal getting a new mom-in-law won't change that. If you don't improve yourself, you're gonna drink the rest of your life alone, like your old crone mom. Do you know, like, you don't really have to drink alone. Like, you can literally go to a bar. Look, M2 is just making a great suggestion, right? Like, you can go to a public place and drink.
That is true. Yeah. But I'm too scared to do that. I'll be honest.
You're
like,
scared?
I would have no clue what I'm doing. Yeah.
Well,
like, I've never been to, like, a bar before.
Do you know what other women do?
What?
They go together.
Oh. Well, that requires me having friends in real life that are also women.
But usually women aren't really friends. Like, they hate each other, but they just collaborate.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly that. It's just, being around each other for convenience sake and then stabbing each other in the back.
Are you going to Looksmaxxing? Because I heard that what is it? Clavicular, yes? So, like, Clavicular, the Looksmaxxer, has been arrested by the cops in Florida. And I was wondering, before we actually get into what he did, are you, like, interested in his content? Like, are you interested in Looksmaxxing? Because you're part of the Zoomer generation, and apparently that's your guys' thing.
I mean, Looksmaxxing is ridiculous. Like, actually taking, like, a hammer to your cheekbones and, like, putting little cracks in them and stuff. Just work out, you know, eat healthy, and that's basically it for, like, dudes. And then with women, just get good at makeup. Well,
so do you actually need to get, like, plastic surgery? Do you need to be under the knife to Looksmaxx properly, or?
If you ask the Looksmaxxers Club, yes. Supposedly, I never know how to pronounce it. Clavicular. Apparently, he does math or something like that. It's part of the whole Looksmaxxing thing, though. If you look at his legs, he's just chicken wings. Not even that. Chicken wings have more meat on them than he does on his legs. So I don't fully understand it because, one, it's not my interest, and two, it just sounds insane.
No, I understand it. It's like, look, your VTube model, right? Like, every single VTuber chick, like, they want the whole model done. And you only show, like, half of it. And so, like, this is how Clavicular is thinking. Like, he's only showing half of himself on camera. So, like, there's no reason to actually work on the legs.
I guess that's true, but, like, then he goes out in public, and then, especially in the case of Florida, and you get to see him in his little booty shorts, and it's like, oh, okay. But at least when it comes to the VTuber model aspect of things, there are options just to get half the model done. But most VTubers go for the whole model. That way you can get reference sheets done, and then you can commission art, you know, in various poses and different things like that.
Would you say that Clavicular is an attractive gentleman or not?
Face-wise, yes, he is attractive. And then, like, shoulders, I get... Yeah, actually, you know what? Yes, minus the legs. The legs are fucking freaky, seeing those pictures of it. I would say he's attractive, yes.
But
he's also 19 and infertile and absolutely insane. So, yeah.
Wait, how do you know he is infertile? Did he announce that?
Yeah, he that's one of, like, the few first things I learned about him, because I remember he went viral for hitting somebody with his car a couple months ago. And everyone's like, base. And then, like, 2 days later, it's like, yeah, I'm infertile. And it's like, oh, you're 19 and you did that to yourself? Jesus Christ. Because it's the cocktail of drugs that he takes for the whole Looksmaxxing that he does.
Jesus. I had no idea. I do know that he's bisexual.
He's bisexual. Oh, that makes a
He's
lot of sense,
bisexual.
actually.
Do you think like
It just means gay.
yeah? Do you think? Well, no. I mean, he still bangs women, right? So it's not like
No. Sorry. It's the one drop. When it comes to men, it's the one drop rule. As soon as you take the dick up the ass or suck the dick, you are gay and so therefore disgusting.
No, I get
women,
what you're
at
saying,
least.
but like what I'm trying to say is that if you're with Fuentes, right, like you know you're safe. Like Fuentes for you can be like one of the girls, right? Like you can literally walk in your underwear if Fuentes is in your house and nothing will happen. Like you don't have to fear anything. But with clavicular, it gets dangerous, right? So you can have like your own theory about like the one drop rule, but at the end of the day, definitions matter. And if someone is bisexual, that means that you're still in the danger zone.
Oh, that is true. He does give me like weird vibes for that too. I think bisexual men are just like hypersexual in general. They just want to fuck anything that has a hole and moves and has a pulse.
Isn't that like
That's
what
what I
a
think of
teenager does? I mean,
he is 19, so yeah, it makes sense.
So, I do believe that the reason he was Looksmaxxing was to get the perfect mugshot, and I'm going to share it with the chat now. It's on Wikipedia. he got his mugshot on Wikipedia. Okay, chat. So, isn't this amazing? Like, real live streaming, everyone. Real live streaming. Eventually, it gets you in trouble with the cops. So, he went to Florida, and he did something that I didn't even know it's a crime. But apparently he unloaded a gun into a crocodile. Or an alligator. Is there a difference between a crocodile and an alligator?
Technically there is, but
okay.
It's...
Yeah. So, apparently that's a crime. Now here's the interesting part. He already has another felony. And apparently, there is the saying in America that if you have a felony, don't do misdemeanors. It's a big yikes. It's a muy problematica for him. He got banned from Kick.
He got banned from Kick?
He got banned from Kick.
What was it? Because of the alligator shooting or the with the car?
Well, I kind of get it. Like, a lot of people say, well, it's just an alligator. Why do you care? Well, I mean, it's not the fact that he shot an alligator that's the problem. It's the fact that he shot an alligator and live streamed it that's the problem. Like, imagine if you create now a trend where you have, like, all these idiots going out into the wild, live streaming themselves with their GoPro camera, just killing wildlife. There is a reason why you need a license to do that, and that's usually to protect the species of animals, right? Like, you don't want to cause an ecological disaster like in the United Kingdom where they killed all the wolves and now they have rabid foxes everywhere. I'm not kidding. Like, literally, that's the reason why you need the license to be a hunter, right? And so, if you're going to show that you found the bunny glitch, you go out into the woods and you just, like, unload the Glock into random woodland creatures, well, eventually, if you create a trail like that, you can see why the government would try to stop it. And not to mention the hunter, right? Imagine a chat hunter looking at this shit. It's like, okay, so I actually need to get a license, and I pay for that license, and the sick son of a bitch can just shoot animals for free? Like, why isn't he getting punished?
Well, it's also the fact that I don't know exactly how endangered alligators and crocodiles are exactly, but you don't want to just wipe out the wildlife like that.
Yeah, it has consequences.
Ass bless. Yeah, you just can't do that. And it doesn't matter if you live stream or not. Though the live streaming just does make it worse. It's a horrible and abysmal by doing that.
Yeah.
And he did it anyway because the man doesn't think. And apparently he's 20, but he just turned 20 back in December. So I guess I got my
He looks 35 though. Fuck is wrong with Zoomers? I seriously do not understand. Like, in my generation,
35.
Yeah, in my generation, a person his age would look like a soy boy, like a guy with pimples and shit. And this guy is like a brick. It's like you get.
I think he looks like 25-ish, somewhere in that range. Because if you actually look at younger Zoomers and then Gen Alpha, because Gen Alpha's rising as we're getting older. If you look at them, the men there are so feminized. They are scrawny and they are very pretty. They're not handsome. They're pretty. And
Mm.
they all have like the same haircut. And they look very flamboyant overall. Just naturally. Even
Well,
though
I
they're
mean,
not.
yeah, I mean the domestication that feminists try to domesticate men, which is literally what was being pushed on the internet with all of the trust and safety and safetyism and safe spaces. Like, I guess it worked, right? And not to mention, they probably grew up with anime as well, because and I don't blame anime. It's like the West needs to pick up their shit. Like, the West just decided to destroy that entertainment industry. They destroyed Disney, they destroyed comic books, they destroyed video games, and now it's like, oh my goodness, this other culture is influenced. Well, yeah, I mean, if you destroy everything, people are going to go for something else. Be glad they're not going for K-pop music.
Yet.
Yet.
Though maybe I'm not in the right circles anymore, because when I was in high school, my friends liked K-pop a lot, and I couldn't get into it. But it seems like K-pop has kind of died out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just in the wrong circles. Like, at least in the West, it has died out. Like, it's not the big trend. Like, you don't have BTS, and Blackpink going like insane like they used to like 10 years ago.
Woppan Gangnam Style.
Yup.
What is this thumbnail? I'm confused. Well, this is the thumbnail with me and my co-host joining forces. Apparently, okay, so I read this one. No. Apparently, Amal admitted to working as a relationship counselor. Haha, what a load of hoopa. I would trust a crazy guy like Misgift more with a relationship before I would trust a loser like Amal here. Did you work as a relationship counselor?
No. No. Like the closest thing I can think of was in high school. There's this one girl who would constantly go to me for relationship advice, and she never would follow it. Then she would constantly cry to me about how horrible her relationship was, and I would give her more advice, and then she wouldn't follow it, and the cycle would repeat. Till eventually I told her to go fuck off. But
oof. But yeah, but like
yeah,
women don't actually want advice. Women want to validate the advice they already took so that they can blame you when they fail.
yeah. So that's probably the closest thing I can think of. And she was coming to me for it for some reason. Like, we weren't even friends. She just randomly would hit me up one day and just ask for advice, and I'd be like, oh, I mean, sure, I'll give it to you, and that was it. I like armchair psychology, but that's once again armchair psychology.
Okay, I got a question for her. Like, let's say, you meet a woman and she's got like really really nice tits. Like they're the most amazing tits you've ever seen. Should you point that out or not?
I mean, are you walking with your wife when this happens, or just
like, no? I'm saying like I'm turning
friends?
time back. I'm back in my teenage years. Okay, I'm not married.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I'm asking like hypothetically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say point it out. Be like, that's what I would do. Be like, hot damn, look at those tits on that woman.
See, that's what my wife does. So I guess you would make a really good relationship advisor. Don't forget all the super chats I have already read, V. I haven't. Amal, if I had to choose between hanging out with a stupid chant like your Russian ex-boyfriend in high school, I would go with the Russian. Why does he have like access to so much lore of your
Because of different things I've talked about on stream, but the best part about it is that it's all jumbled together, so it's not all like completely accurate.
Do you think he's like an amalgamitologist? Like he watches your streams and takes notes, and like sometimes he underlines something that he doesn't like. Like shh.
More than likely, yes. But he doesn't just do this to me. He does it to a bunch of other people too. So.
When does he have so much time? Like obviously the man is productive. Like look how many super chats he gives. And so he does have a job. Like he manages to make money in order to earn that, but he also has time in order to like go with all these other people that you've mentioned.
I mean, maybe he's just listening to them at work. Just pops an earbud in and is going to work and then has a little notepad on the phone and just types little random things like that. Maybe that explains how disjointed the facts are. Because it's like all over the place. Like there's a bit of truth there, but it's not completely accurate.
Yeah, because like, see, I think I can become an M2ologist. Like, I actually know more about him now than he knows about you. I know that he doesn't like Lum, right? Like, he doesn't appreciate Lum. He doesn't appreciate Kirsche. He knows where these ladies live. Out of all these ladies, I think he likes you the most. I think he hates degeneracy, and this man is probably like a monk or something. Like he constantly lives the most pious, most clean life ever, but he's upset that he doesn't find a woman that likes him, and so he's on a journey. He's on an anime app. He's like trying to find like that church girl, that virgin lady that sings in the choir, and he can't find anything. But the closest thing he has is you, and he views you as a project. He believes that he can fix you, like just with enough effort, and if you would only come into his arms, you would become the power couple. And like together you can sow the seeds of many, many children. And you can take over like a small American village in just one generation. And in 3 generations, one of them can just start a church. And it would be glorious and pious. It would be like that city on the hill. And you say no to that. You instead think of your ex-Russian friends and you hang around with Lulu and you're destroying this man's future plans.
What can I say? I'm the destroyer of dreams. The end of the world. Your worst nightmare you can ever imagine. Fear me. Hear me roar.
Goodness gracious, that was cringe. Amal, between the two of us, I'm more likely to get action than you will, and I can live as a forever virgin, unlike the sack that is Amal here. See, I'm noticing that there's more aggression now in his super chats than in the beginning. Like in the beginning, it seemed that he was happy to finally communicate with you. Then it was that he's trying to be helpful. And now I'm feeling like a little bit of resentment. Like, has something happened? Did you ban him on Discord or something?
He's been banned on Discord with multiple accounts for like a year now. Same with YouTube.
Amal is hypocritical, who ain't worth a damn. Amal, you are friends with creepy... See, I told you. I knew this, right? Like, you're friends with Ruby, Mizu, and Oko. Like, he is really upset. Like this is... isn't this like cultish behavior where a person tries to separate you from the friends and the family members?
Yeah, a little bit, yes. I like how chat's saying the stages of grief. That makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like the number one thing that you want to do if you want to brainwash someone is to separate them from their friends and family. Like I'm just saying, Yeah.
He did invite me to take me to Allentown, so maybe that's part of it.
He invited you?
Yeah.
You know what? He's actually low-key saying that you're like all the other VTubers.
I mean, there is nothing special about me. I am another fish in the sea. So, that's not completely inaccurate.
By the way, I need to confess something before we actually move on with the show. I started playing World of Warcraft again.
Oh, oof.
Oof.
It's terminal.
Playing retail. Yeah, it's.
How's it going now? Are you playing the actual official World of Warcraft, or are you playing the turtle version?
Yeah. So the game is kind of solo. So like I don't even interact with the community. They made these very homosexual looking dragonkin, which you can tell is designed by a furry. And the entire expansion, it's not like, oh, we're going to slay the dragon. It's like, oh, we're going to live amongst the dragons and cuddle them, and we're going to befriend them, and we're going to have a dragon pet and train. And like, okay, I vomited, so I had to restart and choose a different expansion. I think like if you go on the vanilla server, you end up with people that generally don't have any time. Like most of them are boomers, like fathers and shit. That if you wipe once, they all leave the instance. And if you play on the other one, you find it's kind of like going on Pedo Sky, I would say. Like the most far left extremist fringe community you can imagine, with a couple of normal people sprinkled in between.
Well, I recommend checking out Turtlebow instead.
Well, yeah, I would play that, but I understand Blizzard is suing them, and they actually may end up closing shop, so I don't want to get addicted to something that I can lose. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you're still getting addicted to the shitty version of it though, so at least you can have something nice for the meantime.
I guess. Anyway, right, let's go back to the news. What happened this week? We got 5 EU countries teaming up to build return hubs outside of Europe. Germany, the Netherlands, Austria, Denmark, and Greece working together on the so-called facilities outside Europe to host irregular migrantes. I'll believe it when it happens. This is my take. Most of the politicians, like, okay, let me dive back. Do you know why Germany doesn't have nuclear reactors in Amalgamyte? It's actually very interesting.
But didn't they shut it down because of the whole Greenpeace bullshit? They're like, oh, this is horrible for the environment, sort of, kind of not, but because it's not actually bad for the environment. But they shut it down because it's dangerous.
No, it's a lot more deeper. Okay, so here in Europe we had Chernobyl, right? And the Russians, they used Chernobyl in order to create as much panic as they could in Europe, right? So like. They funded a lot of NGO and activist groups in Western Europe to basically say how dangerous reactors are. It's like, oh, our reactor can explode like Chernobyl, blah, 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 blah. Right? So, like, literally the Russians, who had their own, they couldn't boil their own fucking rocks, they took advantage of that by suing this level of subversive discord into Western Europe. And so, nuclear power was actually tainted for a while. And then Fukushima happens. And then, like, all of that anxiety comes back up. And so Germany, they had a lot of people that were voting for the Greens, right? So like at the time, the Greens managed to get a huge surge. And so Angela Merkel and her party, the CDU, SPD, they basically said, well, if we don't do anything, we actually lose elections. And so they stolen the platform of the Greens. They said, you know what? We'll shut down the reactor. Like, no, you guys are right. We'll shut it down. And so that's how they maintain power. And then they shut down the reactor. The problem with shutting it down is that a reactor requires logistics, requires, you need to have contracts with other countries to deliver you the radioactive material. And you also need to have, like, enough scientists and specialists. As once you shut it down, you can't easily turn it back up. And on top of that, it's codified in the law. And so, like, this is the problem with Europe. It's a very bureaucratic, very legalistic nation. You can't just elect a guy and he signs a piece of paper and bada bing, bada boom, it's like America. And so when they say, oh, we're going to return refugees outside of Europe, yeah, I mean, in theory, yes, but like, what happens when the judges say no? What happens when, like, the people in power, like, legitimately sign pieces of paper and those pieces of paper are worth the toilet paper that people wipe their ass with because the judge will say, no, you're not allowed. You're still going to keep them in.
I mean, we kind of actually had that problem in America, too. That's what Trump's been facing for the past year with his executive orders and dealing with judges.
Yeah.
Just being like, yeah, no, it's unconstitutional. And then it's like, he has to try again.
Yeah, and I already explained. It's like...
set up to ruin the life.
Yeah, like, getting an illegal in costs $0, right? All you have to do is to tell soldiers, to tell the border security to look the other way. So, like, what Joe Biden did, right? He had an excavator, he lifted the barbed wire, and then you had, like, waves of people. Every single person costing it doesn't cost the government any money, right? To just, like, move from the left to the right. But to deport them, oh my goodness, to deport them, well, they can actually sue, and you have to actually go through the entire process, and you need lawyers and shit. You need to pay people to catch them. You need to have diplomacy with another nation to accept them. And so deporting a single guy is probably more than $20,000, right? Meanwhile, letting a single guy in is zero. And obviously, like, this is why every single right-winger is dealing with this nonsense. Because nations are actually... Go on.
Well, it's because they're actually trying to play by the rules in this case. But there are... Technically, you can just ignore the rules and just do things. You can just hit the button and everything gets fixed. I mean, that's kind of what Poland did with the whole...
No, that's the problem, right? Because the issue is that Trump isn't actually deporting himself, right? Trump isn't on the street grabbing a person and, like, physically dragging him over the board. He signs a piece of paper, right? And you say you can just break the rules. Okay, well, a judge is basically going to resign that piece of paper, and the institution doesn't work like that. Like let's say ICE, right? Like, ICE is an institution and it works based on orders from the top that have to be vetted by a judge. Now, let's say that ICE basically says, you know what, fuck it, we don't care, we do it anyway. The people on the ground can sue, right? Like the people on the ground can now sue the commanding officer and basically say that he's making us follow illegal orders. So this is why you can't just quote unquote do things, and you still need to follow the law.
Or you can say fuck the law. and just say, not bother with it. But personally, that would be a nice thing. That's what Bukele did in El Salvador. But I don't. The Western nations are not willing to actually go that far.
No, I think what he did. No, I think what he did was legal. Actually, I don't think like he violated the Constitution.
No, he actually did. No, he did. He suspended the courts and the judges, and he had a state of emergency multiple times. Like he broke the laws of liberalism multiple times to make it work, and said, "Fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want."
But that's still legal, actually. If you can have like a constitutional, not constitutional. If you can have like the legal way to declare state of emergency, and during state of emergency things happen, right? And you do that, then it's still legal. But I don't know like what state of emergency looks like in America, like how you guys written it in law. But yeah, like in theory, if a president gets a lot of votes and he has the power to declare state of emergency, like in theory he could do it.
I don't know what it would look like in America either, since we haven't really had a huge state of emergency that's been used for that scale, that I'm aware of in my lifetime. But he basically, there's a post, and I don't have it pulled up here, for you specifically, but I have it on my end, where he declared a state of emergency multiple times, curtailing their right to legal counsel, freedom of association, and privacy in communications. He had his government conduct mass detentions of over 85,000 people on the basis of uncorroborated allegations, and going against the presumption of innocence and due process, which had the ability to restrict judges and offer alternatives, or restrict judges from offering alternatives like bail or house arrest, or impose virtual hearing offense, which basically just left the people having no defense. So they
what a fucking chat.
Yes, exactly. We can just and so technically, yes, it's legal that he did the whole state of emergency thing, but you can easily argue. If you told this as like some other random American, or especially like a leftist, the things that he did, they would think this is abominable, that it's authoritarian. Because I mean, it is authoritarian. Like, it might be sort of legal as a state of emergency? Possibly. Not like I'm a lawyer, or especially an El Salvadorian lawyer.
Usually the way it works is that in order to declare state of emergency, usually you need like a couple of things to happen simultaneously, and you also need to have a supermajority. And so like if enough people voted for him, then yeah, I guess. And if he can basically declare emergency because of the number of deaths that are happening per month, sure. I mean, okay, during COVID, right? Like, during COVID, that happened in a lot of places. In my country, they declare state of emergency. And so, like, there were soldiers on the street and shit. But, like, you need a reason for the state of emergency, right? And it actually needs to be an emergency, so...
Yeah. If I remember correctly, Trump didn't call a state of emergency. He left it up to the states to decide.
Yeah.
How they would handle it. So, and even then, that's for COVID and how they handled the medical aspect of things. When state of emergency, when it comes to the more military aspect, that's what essentially Bukele did, because they literally just rounded people up with specific tattoos, and threw them into camps, not concentration camps, but camps, and then just basically didn't deny them a fair trial or anything like that. They just rounded people up.
Laws only matter for the left when they are useful and are pushed aside when there is a hindrance. Update ROE, please. It's actually, it depends on the type of law, right? So, like, if it's welfare shit, and you want to pay people that shouldn't get paid, I mean, that's a law that's easily broken. You will get compliance, basically, at the bureaucratic level. If it's about sending people that may actually get shot, executing something that they legally don't have to, well, those people are probably going to protest, and they're going to sue your ass. I don't know if that makes sense. But
Um,
the idea is like when the guy on the ground is in danger, he doesn't want to be in danger, and so like if he can avoid doing that, he may.
I mean, I guess. It's just I would actually mostly agree with the chatter though, because basically the left likes to use our morals and principles against us, including the laws. I mean, Biden definitely pushed the limits multiple times when he was in office himself, and meanwhile Trump is not like Trump had the absolute mandate, and he just I don't say threw it away, but thanks to pussyfooting and actually trying to follow rules, so he's not considered an authoritarian that they keep on calling him. Even been saying that for the past 10 years. He's still he can say fuck the judges and he's not.
I think
What
what
the
Trump
left would totally say fuck the judges. Biden did that.
I think what Trump is doing is he's focusing on the actual criminals, the murderers and the rapists, and from what I've seen, like most of the immigration centers are filled up, so it's not like he's not deporting people. It's just that there's too many.
Well, deportations are the moderate solution after all, so there are alternatives if needed.
Hmm. CGR 902 says, I, for one, like Amal as a co-host and appreciate when V brings up interesting guests. If he wants a Sweetie Mythic guild, I can hook him up on Area 52. Let me learn to play the game again. Cause like the leveling doesn't teach you anything, and so I want to get a little bit comfortable in understanding the class that I'm playing before I'm going to decide to join any guild. Also, I may actually start the guild. I don't know. It would be interesting if I start the guild and then I live stream the raiding every Friday or whatever. You know, like we do like 2 or 3 days raiding and we live stream that. You can't go yet, Amal. You must make the pilgrimage to the Bass Pro Pyramid first, says Tot Chickens.
I need to go to Bass Pro Shop.
Yes.
Okay.
We have a tar saying a lie that flat is justice. It's not justice somehow. Like flat is the curse of nature. The worst thing that can happen to a woman is to be flat and fat at the same time.
I unironically believe flat is justice is a psyop.
It is. It is the Itty Bitty Committee. That's a terrorist organization.
Yes. Like, no, like, okay. If you like flat chess, you're getting into boy territory.
Yeah.
In itself. So if you're into tomboys, okay, fine. A little bit gay, but I can respect it.
No, even tomboys have tits. No, tomboys have
Yeah.
tits. Like, why wouldn't the
Yeah.
tomboy have a tit? Like, it's... Yeah.
But the whole part of a woman is to have good sized tits so that they can feed her baby, right? It shows that she's fertile. And if she doesn't have tits, I'm not saying she's not fertile, but it's usually a good sign of good genetics that you have a good sized tits, so you have plenty of milk to produce. I know they get larger when you actually do get pregnant and give birth, but it still is a good sign that your milk production will be good.
Yeah, the only...
Overall, it's another sign of fertility, and guys are attracted to that, like big hips.
The only disadvantage, and I agree with this, is the inevitable sagging. But like, by the time you get to the sagging, you still get to enjoy good tits, so...
Yeah, and I mean that's the wall just in general. When women hit 30, and it's just like they get hit by a car. At that point, I guess it also depends on how well they take care of themselves. Because there are some women that made it like 40 and 50, and they're still attractive. Their ovaries might be dried up at that point, but at least they're still relatively attractive, right? But that's just one of the little things, that just happens with life. There are ways to prevent the sagging, like working, and the thing is just working out, just getting your chest muscles decent size to actually make sure they're carried, and don't get fat, because even if you lose the weight, then it's too late. The damage is done. Yeah. They still sag. Yeah.
We got a Romanian that has a saying for M2M2. The fox that cannot reach the grapes is going to gaslight itself that the grapes are sour.
Good thing I like green grapes.
Well, you're not ending up with a trad man because you're a lazy creep who would rather pass away alone and unfulfilled than to be with a legit partner. Actually, it's interesting. Men actually like creepy women. I'm not one of them, but like I'm noticing around myself, like when you have an anime and the woman is batshit insane, crazy and creepy, men actually like her. So, laws only matter to the left when they are useful and pushed aside when they are a hindrance. Okay, gotten through all the super chats. Now, I want to discuss something that we discussed off stream. There is this guy that apparently is a Christian, and he saved his virginity for what appears to be a woman of low moral fiber. He has dated this mother of all harlots that had a body count of over 200. And he decided to go on Twitter and say how he's a Christian and he knows all about forgiveness and this is what you do, and he forgave her and he is now in bed with a woman that, like, okay, let's put it this way, just so you guys can understand, okay? Take the average size of a penis, like a male penis, measure it, and then try to place like 300 penises one after another on a road, and you can literally drive your car and you can see just how much dick that woman had in her, okay? And this is the type of lady that this guy is basically saying that he forgave her and she's born again Christian and whatnot.
Well, it's not exactly the story in itself that's the bad thing. It's the discourse around it that really got bad. Because a lot of men generally prefer virgins, and there are biological reasons for that. Now, unfortunately, women are not virgins in the modern age. The only virgin you're gonna find is a 15-year-old girl, and obviously you can't go after her for legal reasons. But once it, like, even at 16, 17, usually there's at least like one or two body counts at that age. So that's just unfortunately a hard truth to swallow there. But obviously, there's a difference between single-digit body count and triple-digit body count. That does exist, by the way, unfortunately.
Okay, Amal, listen. Someone did the math. We're talking about 3 kilometers of dick.
Wait, what? Hold on.
So, 14 centimeters times 3,000. That's a lot of dick. I do that sound again. Cause that's literally how I was in my mind, you know? Like I just wanted to say something and then I'm hearing the So like if you make it into a flag, it's a mountain of penises about. Like a 3 kilometer.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no, seriously, like a 3 kilometer mountain. Like, okay, hold on. Like airplanes, they fly at a distance of 7 kilometers, right? Like 7,000 meters. So it's not as high as a commercial plane. But it's like, okay, so like let me check, like what is a 3 kilometer mountain? Like, is it the Alps? I think like the tallest mountain in my country is like 2.5 kilometers. So basically, we're talking about genuinely hiking. Yeah, it's like a 3 kilometer hike of the amount of penises this lady took up in her. And by the way, we're lowballing here because like 14 centimeter isn't like the biggest penis ever. So like we're going by average here. Like I assume like some are larger, some are smaller. Yeah, it's Alps level. Yeah, so like a mountain of penises, literally.
It's I can't. I'm trying to imagine that, and I can't. Like I can, and I can't. Like it's a ridiculous image. Like it's like AI, one of those like weird, pictures that it kind of like creates. So it's like a meme or something like that.
Listen.
But
Like,
it's reality.
when you talk about the penis carousel, right? You would imagine it's like in an amusement park, but no, it's a mountain penis carousel. Like it's gargantuan.
Oh Jesus. Okay. Well. Listen, lads. Make sure whatever woman you get with doesn't actually have a mountain of penises in her back closet.
So let me check again. Like
Jesus
300 times 13 centimeters. Holy shit. Okay, so no, it's almost 4 kilometers. 4 kilometers of dick.
Well,
if you fuck
so
300 men as a woman, if you fuck 300 men, that's 4 kilometers. Like, you can get in a car, keep driving, and you have time to contemplate all the way through, because it's probably like a 15-minute drive if you're not rushing, you know?
okay, so I'm the dumb American here, and I speak in freedom units. Isn't there? No way mountains are 4 kilometers though.
Okay, hold on. I'll transform. Like, what do Americans use?
Feet and inches and yards and miles.
So what is 4 kilometers in American measurements?
The
So
Marina Trench is
2.49 miles.
2.49 miles.
Yes,
okay,
2.49 miles.
Mountains are bigger. Mountains are much bigger than 2.49 miles. However, that's a lot of miles. That's...
Name me a 4 kilometer tall mountain in the US. So
Everest is like 7 kilometers tall? No fucking way.
Okay, Mount Whitney, it's got 4.4. Mount Elbert, 4.4. Mount Rainier.
Oh.
Right? Mount Shasta. Mount Harvard. And that's pretty much it, yeah.
Okay, well...
So I will actually show you a picture, just so you can understand, so you can visualize it better, and I'll show it to the chat as well, right? If you're a woman, okay, and you actually sleep...
Jesus!
Yeah, and you you sleep with 300 men, and you then take their penises and you measure them, and you place the measurements one next to the other. This is how fucking tall it gets.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Okay, some people are saying your math is wrong, so I don't know.
So my math... Okay, my math is... 300 times 13. Right, so like 13 inches per penis. That's how I...
Wait, 13 inches per penis? That's...
Sorry, 13 centimeters per penis. 13 centimeters per penis. Times 300 men, right? So we got 300. Right, we got 300 times 13 centimeters. It's 3,900. Oh, I think I think chat is right. I think I mistook the inches with the feet and the centimeters and the meters. So it's probably
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, just like,
you know what? I'll just ask ChatGPT. Hold on, I'll ask ChatGPT.
Oh, ChatGPT.
Yeah, I'll ask ChatGPT. So if a woman sleeps with 300 men, and we measure the average size of a penis, and then we place it on the ground, penis to penis, how long is the line going to be like?
This we should have in the beginning. ChatGPT knows everything.
We'll see. It's thinking. It's a complex situation. It's really good with coding, so probably it's going to be good with this. Okay, so let's turn this into a mildly cursed math problem. The average erect penis length is usually 13 to 14 centimeter. Okay, so like 5.5 inches. Let's take a clean middle value. Okay, 13.5 centimeters. Now multiply 300 men times 13.5 centimeters equals 4,050. Okay, 40.5 meters. Okay, I was dumb. Okay, so it's the size of a ball, a football field. The length of a blue whale. Field. Yeah, the length of a football field. The length of a blue whale.
Football field is still insane.
It is insane.
Like,
yes.
I thought a mountain was way too big. Cause like there seemed to be something off about that.
Yeah.
But a football field. Jeez.
Unless she fucked black men. Like if she fucked only black men, then the measurements are off, and we need to recalibrate.
Well, she fucked black men. She shouldn't be touched with a 10-foot pole, despite even if it's one guy.
I didn't consent to be knowing about his wife activities. Why does he need to tell us about? Okay, so like this is my take regarding the situation. Like, look, I'm not blaming the guy. I know that is ridiculous. If it was my son, I would be, you know what? This is the best he could do. I mean, look, if at least it's a woman, right? Like, at least he's not a homosexual. He doesn't find a transgender person. Like, there is a chance I may have grandchildren. That's what matters, right? Like, my legacy is going to continue. I'm not going to extinguish my family. He has managed to at least find something with a pulse. You know, like, he wasn't good enough, right? Like, he wasn't Andrew the Giant, couldn't reach for the stars. That's literally all he could do. That was, like, the bottom of the battle. At least a member of the opposite sex took interest in him. So, okay. When I don't consent, and when I would disown him, why the fuck is he making the shame public? Like, listen, you know, if you couldn't find a job at Microsoft, and you managed to become the sewage cleaner, because, like, you need a job, so at least you have a job, right? Like, at least you're doing something, right? Why are you bragging about it? Why are you trying to say that, no, like, this job is the best in the universe? And I'm like, no, it's not the best in the universe. Everyone knows that it's the only thing you could have gotten. You had no choices, right? Like, you went into a restaurant starving, and it was the only thing on the menu, and you got it. Like, I'm not going to, you know, shame the guy in the desert for licking up water that has mud in it, because I understand he's thirsty and there's no other choice, right? But what I don't get is bragging about it.
It's because there's this huge trend that's been going on for a while now, and I would like it for the die out, but it's these trad influencers, these trad Christian influencers acting holier than thou, and they talk about how they had like a very sinful past. When it comes to women, it's always the fact that they were massive whores, you know, and OnlyFans. And with guys, it's, you know, oh, they did these awful things before. Whatever the male version is in this case, and they found Jesus and turned to Christ, and it's all about, it's all their social media images is like how they've learned and how Jesus saved them and stuff like that. And that's exactly what that guy was doing with his posts with his wife, where he was talking about what her past is and how she's purer than any virgin, because of the fact that she, you know, learned her lesson and Jesus saved her that way.
I noticed a lot of leftists are becoming Christians. And they're not becoming Christians because they believe in the mysticism or they believe in demons and angels. They're becoming Christians because it's another ideology they can use to shame others. And it's like, yes, I may be a whore, but I'm a born-again Christian now. And I get to shame all the other whores that used to be my competition. And I get to keep all the money. And that's fucking disgusting, you know? It's like, if you're like...
Oh, yeah,
yeah, go on.
They do it mostly also the men too. Like you see all these like women using all these Bible quotes about how like men need to be better and how men are awful and stuff like that. Like they're browbeating men to be submissive. Like every single one of these, you know, whore to turn, you know, found Jesus, type of women. They always are just fucking awful to their husbands that they actually were able to find too.
There's so fucking many of them.
Control.
Yeah, like it's so trendy now to be a OnlyFans Christian. It's like, what the fuck? Like, look, I don't even have a problem. Like, you can be an OnlyFans girl and still be a Christian. Like, there are genuine Christians that, like, are alcoholic, or they like gambling, or they partake in various sins, right? Because they can't control themselves. And it's like, okay, it's their relationship with Jesus. None of my fucking business. Like, if they generally feel bad, that they're, like, praying, whatever, you know? But that's not what it is. It's like using Christianity not for themselves to feel guilty about it. It's using Christianity to try and shame other people so that they can put the priestly robes and act like a cleric. And it's like, you know, I'm moral because I'm pointing out all the sin. And, you know, obviously don't look at me. Look at the other people I'm pointing. It feels like that.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly that. I hate them so much. Like, chat, if I ever do, like, the whole born-again Christian grift... and, you know, start in like, evangelizing and everything like that, just shoot me. Just take me out back and just shoot me. I hate it so much. Like, I'm not saying, because, like, I'm not completely against coming back to religion myself, because there are some aspects there that I do kind of like and miss and respect, and there is a little bit of, like, longing in me of that as I'm, like, looking back a bit different. There's some sort of aspect to it that does like kind of appeal to me once again. But the whole like bringing the dusty Bible out and start like jerking off to it religiously all of a sudden out of the blue and like I just take me back and to shoot me at
Well,
that
look at
point.
Sneeko, right? Like, Sneeko apparently was exposed for being a huge BLM supporter and talking shit about white people. And now he's very religious. And I think, like, you have the mindset. It's not, like, ideological. It's just, like, the personality type of an individual that's not really competent at doing something. Like, he's not a good engineer. He's not a good mathematician or someone that, can basically tell other people, like, look, I'm competent. And so they latch onto a religion that has a moral aspect in order to use it as a cudgel to beat other people in order to show, look how good I am. Because, like, I noticed the problem with the world. I noticed the sins with the world. And, when it was Black Lives Matter and it was, like, leftist ideology that was everywhere, well, all of a sudden it's like, oh, look at the problem with these white people, blah, blah, blah. And then when now it's like Islam and Christianity and other shit in leftist circles, oh, now they're that. And yes, like Christianity is becoming a thing in leftist circles with women, with OnlyFans girls especially. And it's like, what the fuck,
Yeah, and it's just this whole drama definitely drudged out a lot of these women who are like this. They're all feminists at the end of the day. Like they're just using Christianity as a shield to act like they're based in Redpill, but they're just still feminists at the end of the day. And I can't stand them. But I can't stand women in general. I hate women so much.
And it's also like, there's different types of Christianities. Like, there's the community building Christianity where, you go to church, you interact with other members of the congregation, you do good works, like you donate to charity, and you try to help others. And there's like the firebrand preacher, Protestant, televangelist, Twitter evangelist type of Christianity. And it's interesting that almost all the OnlyFans girls choose the second one. Like they're
because
not.
they still have to get attention.
Yeah.
They moved away from selling their bodies to still selling their bodies. They just cover up a little bit more, and they're still selling themselves for attention. In this case, and
some keep on doing it.
It's still a sin of pride.
So, some keep doing OnlyFans. It's just that they claim, well, yeah, but I'm not uploading naked pictures of myself now. And it's like, yeah, you're not. But, like, if you're literally a Christian, right? Like, you understand that every time a man lusts for you, he's sinning. And so, like, when you're putting pictures on your OnlyFans, you know exactly what you're doing. So you're literally, like, wanting other men to go to hell. And I don't think, like, that's very Christian of you.
Well, it's all a grift at the end of the day, and I usually don't use the word grift lightly, but in this case, it's 100% true. Like, I see a woman like that, and I just immediately disregard. I don't really trust any woman that does the whole born-again Christian thing. And they actually, like, post about it. It just all seems fake.
Do you know who's also into the Christian club?
Who?
The Quartering.
Oh.
And recently, it turns out, and I I will defend Quartering because he's my friend, and I mean he used to be. I don't know. We haven't spoken in a while. People accused him of being a cuck, but to be fair, he's a swinger. He's a swinger. He may be bisexual as well. There are reports, accusations that he actually pushed the head of his wife down a Jewish man's bull's shaft. Not very Christian is what I'm trying to say. Not that I have a problem with swingers or anything. It's like, it's not my family. Like, I don't tolerate that shit in my household. But I have no influence over the Quartering's household. The only thing that I find it interesting is, like, when you start lecturing other people about Christianity, why don't you lecture them about your lifestyle? Like, if you're happy with your life, why aren't you sharing that success? Like, why aren't you advocating that other people behave the way you do so that they can be happy as you are?
Well, seeing that he was going after Melanie back there for a bit, I don't think he's actually happy. Maybe he wants a woman of his own.
But Melanie Mack, I understand, like, she managed to get engaged.
Oh, isn't the man she's engaged to quite swarthy as well?
I don't know. The thing that I know about Melanie Mack, and this is interesting, so She was a left-leaning person. I think like she was even a leftist journalist. And the guy she was in became gay. And I'm like, wow. Like, what does that do to a person? Like,
Jesus.
Like what exactly does that do to a person, right? Like, imagine, like, I'm trying to imagine if my wife was a lesbian. And I'm like, would I did I broke her? Like, was I, was she always broken, or did I do something bad? Like, how did it happen? Of course, for men it's different, because lesbians are hot. And then I would judge, like, if she actually went with another woman with big tits, like, that would at least be okay. And then I would ask, can I join? But for women, I know it's different, right? Like, how would you feel if you have, like, a significant other and he ends up, proving Alex Jones right that the frogs do get up to be gay?
Well, actually, technically, Alex Jones is right about that, technically.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if lesbians are easy to fix, you just dick them down and the problem is solved. But if your wife turns into a lesbian after being with her, then yeah, that's... Oof, that's...
Yeah, it's like, did I activate some trauma?
You must be so insufferable.
Yeah, like, you start to realize, like, did I push her to the other team? What happened there?
Mm-hmm.
And so Melody Mac, I think...
to be a woman and make a man gay, oh man, you...
Yeah, so I think, like, Melody Mac actually encountered some trauma there, because, like, she was very famous for saying gay slurs after that. Like, she was really, really with the gayness and stuff. And
oh my god. Sorry, I was scrolling through her timeline here, because I was trying to find her post with her being married with her husband. And I'm not sure if it's just my thing acting up or not, but it stops at March 9th. Like, I can't go further than that. I refreshed and I'm trying again. But, like, did she delete all her posts or something like that?
See, that's a thing that women do on Facebook. Like, after they separate, like, they just delete the pictures that they have with their ex. So is this what you're...
That's the right thing to do in that case, but, like, it's like she got married and, like, she deleted her whole past. Because, like, I can't go further than March 9th. That's the oldest post on her Twitter page. Maybe, and it's just her saying words.
Maybe she got separated from the quartering.
And after that, it was immediately a retweet of the quartering, a post on another post, and then another retweet of quartering, another post, and then another retweet of quartering.
Oh. I mean, he does pay her, so...
Yeah, but there's no actual post of her marriage anymore. Though she did retweet some video of I think it's her husband based off he looks familiar, and yeah, he's some sort of like Indian, some sort of like dark Asian, some sort of like Indonesian, that kind of deal. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
my physiognomy is.
As I said, it's like at some point you gotta get what you get. Like you can't be picky. Beggars can't be choosers. So.
Yeah, but like, she's got an army of simps, including the quartering after her, and she goes with she's a race mixer, going with some Indonesian guy. Jesus Christ!
Not all people are so close-minded, Amalgamyte. Like some individuals may find that hot. I mean, for example, if I wasn't married, if I had any available, like Japanese girls are pretty fucking cool. So, like, for you, maybe it's not attractive, but, like, for other people, it may be a fetish. Maybe she's fetishizing Filipinos.
I guess. And I mean, but at the same time, like, disavow.
Look, Jesus doesn't say it's a sin to marry outside of your tribe. Like, there is nothing in the Bible that claims it's a bad thing to do. Anyway,
I still think Jesus will look upon you and be like, damn.
I actually think like Jesus doesn't have an opinion on that. Like, anyway, Nick Fuentes' job is to make the right look bad, and the audience and content creators are falling for the bait. Like glazing Epstein with MAGA hat. Yeah, exactly. I already said this. Like, Nick Fuentes is unironically control opposition. Like, when you start selling Epstein t-shirts to people, and you know that your people are right-wing, like, imagine how that looks, like, the very optics of it, and I get it, like, it was, oh, yeah, like, I'm being edgy, and I'm being controversial, like, I've been controversial before. Yeah, sure, but, like, when you have a movement and people in that movement are wearing t-shirts that are associated with a pedophile, it makes your movement look like it's pedophiles. It's kind of literally the same thing with the San Francisco gay choir that started singing "We're Coming for Your Children," and they tried to spin it, oh no, it's actually an edgy joke. Yeah, it doesn't function that way. And so I think Nick knows what he's doing.
He does. And that's kind of why I actually do see him as just one big edgy joke. Like, he's got some good clips, he's got some good moments, and they're funny, and some of them are actually true, and he makes valid points on different things. But I don't actually take him seriously because, like, I do see him as just one big edge.
He wants you to vote Democrat.
Yeah, I know, and I disavow that all the time.
And I know this is not just him. It's not just him. Like, there's like 3 or 4 content creators on the right, which, again, they don't collab with each other, they don't talk with each other, but they're like part of the dissident right. And they had the exact same talking points in the exact same week, and it was initially, Trump is bad, Trump doesn't handle immigration, and then it was, we shouldn't vote, and now it's like, we actually should vote Democrat. What? Like, Nani? Like, okay, so, why don't you campaign with Hassan Piker and Destiny then? You know? Or I guess if your plan is so big brain that it's like going to destroy the Democrats with your accelerationism, like shouldn't Hassan and Destiny say, oh shit, the right wingers have figured us out, like we need to vote Republican now to counterbalance them. Because if we win, then the accelerationism doesn't happen and the right wingers just destroy us.
Sorry,
Nani?
But weird noises. Anyways, but yeah, I just there's probably some sort of psyop there, and I just, for the most part, just ignore it. I just enjoy the funny clips and kind of move on. Though I will say, like, his interview with Tucker was actually pretty good.
You know, he accused Tucker of anti-Semitism yesterday.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not. So, Nick Fuentes made a video in which he basically says that he is not an anti-Semite because he doesn't hate all Jews. But Tucker, but like Tucker Carlson, unlike Nick, hates all the Jewish people, and so Tucker is anti-Semitic. So I'll play this, right? Like we can play it together so that you can see what I'm talking about. And we just have to be quiet for like 2 minutes so the chat can hear. But it's very interesting, right? So this is the times we live in.
Is now the favorite of the Israelis and the pro-Israel Jews as of the last several months. Why? Because after my interview with Tucker and Tucker's general anti-Semitism, which I don't agree with, by the way, I'm against blood guilt. Tucker seems to hate Jews. I don't. Because I'm a Christian and I hate blood guilt. So I agree with Tucker on a lot of things. I don't agree that when he says things like hummus-eating Pharisees that killed Christ, I'm like, hey man, I don't agree with the blood guilt, okay? We all killed Christ because our sins put him on the cross. So I don't agree with that. Tucker's a little too hardcore, and I think he should really lighten up and stop hating Jews so much. Anyway, that's just an aside. But it's Tucker's anti-Semitism. It's his hatred of Israel. It's his alliance with me, which is deep and fruitful and deepening all the time, every single day. We have a great relationship. It is my friendship with Tucker, and it is Tucker's connection with Vance, which has made the Jews and the Israelis skeptical of Vance. They told us. After my interview with Tucker, after the Tucker cost, Republican Jewish Coalition held a summit in Vegas, and Mark Levin, the chief propagandist in the war, he said, we, the Jews, have our resources, our clout, our positions, and we're going to use them. He said, and we're going to be watching very carefully at who associates with who and who disavows who. He said, and we're going to make our decisions for 2028. And what he was implying is this. If Vance doesn't fire Buckley Carlson, if Vance doesn't disavow Tucker and the Groypers, then organized Jewry will back somebody else. That is what he was saying. They were all telegraphing.
By the way, like, do people actually believe Nick when he says these things as if they actually happen? Because he shows no evidence. Like, there's no recording. It's like, literally, just trust me, bro. The New York Times, like, I heard it from a guy who heard it from a guy who was literally there, but, like, I can't disclose my sources.
I guess. I mean, he's got a huge base.
I mean,
So-
yeah, sure, so does the New York Times,
Clearly.
right? Like, the New York Times has a huge base. And when they were saying, like, about the Pissgate dossier and the Russia Gate, and it's like, oh, there was a guy that was next to Trump when he chimped out, and this is the editorial. Isn't this, like, literally the same shit, though? Like, I'm not saying it didn't happen, like, maybe it did, but, like, why would they just, like, flat out disclose their evil conspiratorial plans next to the Groypers so that Nick can hear it?
I don't know. The whole entire clip. I know I didn't listen to the full thing completely, but it didn't make sense to me at all. Like, maybe I'm just too retarded, but he was just going back and forth with the whole Jewish conspiracy, but I'm not an anti-Semite. Tucker's an anti-Semite.
Yeah, let me tell you about the
Can't do
Jewry.
about
Like,
that.
I'm not an anti-Semite, but let me tell you about the Jewry.
And then he goes back to the whole Jewish conspiracy thing again,
Yeah,
and
and-
JD Vance. I'm just like, wait, hold on, this doesn't make sense.
And not to mention, right? Like, why would the Jewry, like, be like, okay, let's get a Groyper in here while we tell our plans so that Nick Fuentes can hear about it?
Like, the only thing I can think of is because he is so popular, that he does have sources. Because there is when the articles do it, right? When the New York Times does it, not to defend the New York Times, but as a general, example, right? There are whistleblowers that have to stay anonymous. There are people that speak up to stay anonymous because they don't want to lose their jobs. And so you do have the whole trust me bro angle things because they have a grain of salt to go with it.
Yeah, but when you're making claims like this, like, you need some evidence. But, like, let me put it this way, okay? Do you know why every single video that Nick Fuentes is in, every single one, he has lights in his studio? Do you know why that is?
I mean, he's just in. I just figured it's just a studio thing.
Because
you
he
know,
glows
having
in the
to-
dark, Amalgamyte. He glows in the fucking dark. If that man was to ever close the lights in his studio, he would be the light. He would fucking glow like no tomorrow. So, like,
God damn it.
if you're telling me that he's got sources, okay, yeah, like, maybe through the feds, sure, maybe his handler told him.
Jesus Christ. I literally had to lean back in my chair when he said that. I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes. Ugh.
Anyway,
Yeah,
right.
I can. The Fed allegations are definitely strong on him.
Anyway, we should end it here because it's been 1 hour. So, I thank you so much for co-hosting with me. Maybe we can have another guest next time. I should ask Lub because maybe we'll get more super chats from M2 if she's here.
Oh Jesus, yeah. maybe next week or something like that before the Archcast.
So, let me just read the super chats from whom they were one more time. Thank you so much, M2 for all the donations. Jankus the Great. Holy shit, M2 actually did donate a lot. Thank you, Sergeant Gattery, Atari, Tots Chickens, CGR, Frog Jupiter, Jody Bukar. He wanted to super chat the math, but YouTube for some reason kept telling me the message needed to be edited. Have the money anyway. Well, thank you. And also thank you Grotsky and Connect 200. Yeah. So, anyway, thank you for the show. Amalgamyte, if you want to have a closing statement.
Oh God, the first thing that popped in my mind was slurs.
Okay, I'm ending the show now.
I
I'm ending
go
the show.
on a vacation for a weekend.